This is how to make these cute little heart ornaments. And you can also make them into something large like a hot pad or trivet if you'd like. What you will need to make this is for this size, it's a 4mm hook. I don't know if you can see that. It's 4mm. You have to trust me. And a worsted weight yarn. I'm using Caron 1 pound that was left over from another project. For the pink, the white is made with Baby Love, Pound of Love by Lion Brand. And then this large one is 3 strands of, I believe they're all Caron 1 pounders. The scrap yarn. It does not take much to make these. These would be great ornaments for your Christmas tree in a variety of colors. You could also make them in like Valentine's-y colors and hang them places. These are really cute. I used 2 different colors just to kind of see what I could do because I have a bunch of scraps. You can make it all in one color or with a chunky or bulky weight yarn as well and get something like this. A couple strands of cotton held together. You could also make something much smaller with thread and one of the little steel hooks, like a 000 or 000 or whatever those tiny little sizes are that I never use. So those of you who like thread, this would also be super cute with some thread. And you could, the picture I saw of one of these had a ribbon tied right here where this connection is, and that was really cute. So that would be an option as well. All right, let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain, let's see if I can bring this down here a little bit so you can see it better. Chain 12. I'm having, for some reason, a hard time getting my yarn started. There we go. We're going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're going to double crochet in the 6th chain from the hook. That will make this first, zoom over here, this first hole. Their chain and then our first little open spot. So we're doing that first double crochet. We're also doing 2 chain spaces at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to double crochet there. Then we're going to chain 1. Skip 1 down here on the main chain. Double crochet in the next one. Single crochet, let me try that again. Chain 1. Skip a chain down here. Double crochet again. Chain 1. And then we're going to skip the next and double crochet in the last. And that might be a little bit snug. And if you need to like jab your hook in there really well, using all the parts, you'll see I kind of shove it in like that and work it around. I tried to crochet a little looser than that, but apparently my first stitch was a little tight. And double. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What that's done is it's done made our first stitch, double crochet, and it's done our first chain stitch. We're going to turn our work, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to double into our double. And we're going to keep doing that. Chain 1, double, chain 1, double into the double, chain 1, skip the first chain, go into the second chain, and double. So what we've done here at the end is instead of going into a double crochet, because there's not one here, we went into the top of our chain 1, 3 chains for the double and the chain for the whole. So we doubled into the last true double, we skipped this chain stitch, we chained 1 up here, and then we double crocheted into the next chain stitch. And if you count here, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the 5th, this here being our 6th chain. Then we're going to chain 4, just like we did at the beginning of our last round. Turn and go back the other way. I have used a 4mm hook here because I want something nice and tight. Otherwise it'll get a little saggy. I'll show you what I did when I used a 5mm hook with the same yarn. And here's that 5mm hook with the same yarn, and this was it was a little floppy. So you can see the difference also in size between the 4 and the 5mm hook. This is the 4, this is the 5. I also did 10 chains here, and we're not going to do that many. Made it a little bit much in there. So it's just a little floppy, doesn't hold its shape as well. So we're not using a 5 with our medium worsted weight. I've got 3 sets of window panes, so we're going to repeat this row one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn, double crochet into the first double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1, double crochet in the second chain. So skip 1, double crochet into the next chain. Alright, from here, now we've got our neat little square. Kind of tug that around to be a little more square. So we're at this point here. So now we're going to make all of this happen. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to work from the corner to the first double crochet, and then we're going to chain a bunch, slip into the corner stitch here, chain that same number again, and then go into the second, or the double crochet here, the single to the corner, do some corner stitches, single along, corner stitches, single along, some corner stitches, and then we're going to double a bunch, half double, single, slip, chain, all of these, slip again, single, half double, double, single, half double, and then double a bunch. Cool? All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to chain 1 and single once in the corner. So when we come back, we'll need to do 2 corner stitches. Single once in the open spot here. And then I'm going to single again into that. It's actually an end. It's not a double crochet right there. It's actually the end of a row, but it's the first chain that starts that new row. And then I'm going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could chain 7 or 8 depending how tight your chains are. Our goal is to have a line of chain stitches that goes to this corner here, and then single into that corner stitch. I'm just going to get you a better view. You can single or you can slip. Either way is fine. I think I like singling better. I think it gives me a little bit more stability there when I come back around with the doubles. And then we're going to, again, chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to single, come down here and single into this. Not the last double crochet, but the second to last. So I'm going to single right in there. single into the hole, and then I'm going to do 3 singles in the corner. That's our corner to turn the corner to, and 3. I'm going to crochet right over top of that starting row's end. I don't like them, so I just tend to crochet right over them. I'm going to crochet 1, 2 here, and you can either crochet in these ends or not. It's really up to you. I tend to do that because I think it looks better. So to make sure that I hold, I'm just going to give you my hand, hold my end over top of my crochet hook so it's right up against that edge, and hide it underneath my single crochet. And then again, 1, 2, into the end here of this row, 1, 1, 2, into the end of this row, 1, 2, and then I'm going to, you may find that you like doing 1 and then your corner stitches, or 2 and then your corner stitches. It's yours. It's your ornament, or whatever you're going to do with it. It's up to you. I'm probably going to do 1 there just because I think it'll look better. And then 1. And then in that first double crochet, 2 in the hole, 1 in the end, 2 in the hole here, 1 in the end, 2 in the hole, or this actually 1 in the hole here, and 2 in the end because I'm back around to where I started, and I started with a single crochet in the corner. Now you can join that to your original stitch, and then we're simply going to yarn over, and we're going to do 10 doubles. Now if in this big one here, I've only done 8. And I've done 8 because it just got so chunky and full that 10 was too much. My advice to you is use your discretion. You'll see here 10 sits really nicely in this smaller size. 10 is almost too few in this really small size. However it fits. If you find you get to your half double and you're really having to shove everything over and it's not sitting flat, do a few less double crochets. If you get to the end here and there's a ton of space and you're having to really space them out, do a few more. That is my advice to you, but just keep a count of how many you did one direction, so when you slip in the middle and do your chains and come back, you do the same thing on both sides. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, half double, so it's a yarn over, pull through all 3. So just like a double crochet, but we're only doing 1 pull through. And then a single, and then I slip into the middle, and then a bunch of chains. I did 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then we can either slip back into that same stitch or slip into the first chain that we did, whatever's more comfortable for you. Get a little more yarn here, we're almost done. So now we're doing that second hump of the heart, and we're done. So single, half double, and then however many doubles you did on the other side. I did 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we find that middle stitch in the corner, put our hook through, pull it all the way through. It's a slip stitch, and then we'll cut that yarn and weave our end in, and that's all we have to do. You'll want to wet and block these a little bit, especially with the acrylic yarn. They'll block a little bit. I don't have to go as much blocking with cotton generally. In my experience, this side's a little wonky. You may also want to experiment with using some trebles in the middle here, so do like 2 or 3 doubles, like 4 trebles and 2 doubles, something like that, to make up the same number as I did the doubles. If you want to get a bigger hump in here, without having to add extra space here, so you can get a little extra height. If you really want height, you could do like 2 doubles, 2 trebles, 1 treble, 2 quads, that's 3 wraps around, and so on. So you can really play with that in here to get the height you want on these little humps. If you use cotton thread, you can always starch these. You could starch the acrylic as well. I haven't ever starched acrylic, but I'm sure you could do it. And make them nice and stiff if you wanted to hang them on your Christmas tree, or use them for like a Valentine's Day banner. And again, you can do them in a larger size for like a hot plate, trivet kind of thing, or hot pad and a hot plate. You can't cook on these. I did this in acrylic. If you do acrylic, you certainly wouldn't want to put anything oven temperature on it, because it would melt a little bit. If you do some cotton, you can put anything on them. And then you can also fill those holes in instead of doing it every other. You could do every double crochet across, and then you would just chain 8 plus 4, and then crochet in the 8 plus 3, and then crochet back 7 plus 3, 10. Yeah, 10. We crochet 10 and go back every stitch across, and just keep going every stitch for 4 rows, but then do the same basic thing on your corners, on your sides. So there you go, a cute ornament or a hot pad, whatever you want to do with those. Adorable. They kind of remind me of the Scandinavian paper hearts. I think they're really sweet. Thanks, guys.